Chris, this is Mr. Yard calling. George Yard.
Hey, how's it going, buddy? How are you?
I am okay.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm extremely hesitant
I
and
understand.
reluctant about all this.
I understand that. I went through. I mean, did you go on any of my websites or any of the videos that I sent that about
I
me?
work. I work nonstop. For me to take about 20 minutes of my time to sit down and get a coffee and talk with you, it would be it's a miracle within itself for me to even do that because
Oh yeah, there's hundreds of videos about me. You Google Chris the Hacker or go on YouTube. I mean, they would call me for days. I mean, it was a 3-year ordeal with these guys. So I understand your hesitancy. That's
it's
why
just
I'm.
right. I mean, yeah, I'm reluctant and I'm hesitant, and that's putting it mild. But
Well, that was why I
it's,
met. That was why I got you that picture of that guy to kind of prove how that I can do what I can do, and that I was able to get that to you, and I was able to get
well, Chris.
that other.
Yeah, yeah. That is a mental disabled guy that I paid a private investigator myself to snap a picture of his face back in last year because he's been running his mouth, and I told him he's mentally disabled. He's not disabled. He's got some smarts about him, but he lives in with his mother in South New Jersey,
So that
and
is
he's
him.
very
That is him.
yeah. That is Jeremy Warren. His
Yeah. Okay.
4400.
Yeah, because he put up a
Yeah.
video. He put up a video, and I mean, because he doesn't have an antivirus software. That's the whole thing. Was that it was so easy to just get into his computer and he had his
Yeah, well,
webcam.
be the easiest one you would get would be
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
because he's
All I had to do was get his IP number, and then I have this software that you can just back remote into people's computers if they give you permission. And he said yes like a fool. So I was able to just look at stuff on his computer, and I turned on his webcam and literally just took a photograph of the guy while he was sitting there on his bed.
well, see, I've got a picture of a PI came to his door, snapped a picture of him, and that's what basically they did. And of course, then I used it, and then of course, I wanted him to know that when he starts talking about me, I'm not somebody to fuck with.
Now, what's the thing with these guys is, and there was one guy, this Justin Thorne, his name was, and he went by, what was his name? LCC, Legendary Prank, Legendary Callers or something. And he kept calling me, and he started calling up the local law enforcement agencies in his area. So I found out about that, and I gave it to the Dover, Delaware police, and guess what? He went to jail.
Well, there you go. And I'm sorry. Tell me again. We've had a conversation. I know a little bit. Tell me again how. What
Basically, I
happened
used to own a data recovery shop up in Belmont, Massachusetts called Dat Boys Data Recovery. And one day, I started getting some weird phone calls, and they just seemed very strange. They were like recorded phone call, like recorded voices. And they would call me every single day, hour after hour, hour after hour. And you'd rage at them. You're like, I would just tell them, leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. And then what they would do is they would record my voice and make what's called a soundboard. And they would
exactly?
call
They're calling
people.
me.
So what they would do is they would call with my voice, they'd call all my neighbors, all the local restaurants, everybody, and they would just cause havoc. But I figured out what was going on. That was the difference between me and all those other people. There's like a Frank Garrett, there's a Rick, there's all these characters that they created. There's a Fred Herbert, the bail bondsman, there's the police officers.
Yeah. He's a part of this too. Fred Herbert. He just hopped on. He just
Really?
hopped on.
Well, he's
Yeah,
actually Fred Herbert actually died. The real Fred Herbert died a couple of years ago, or about back in February. So that's got to be a like a phony person. But what would happen? But they basically, I figured out what was going on, so I took the fight to them. I'm an American. I served my country, and I wasn't going to take shit from these guys. So I started tracking them down, and unfortunately, a lot of them lived in the Netherlands and in Great Britain. So those were the tougher ones. I was able to get some of their information and their IP addresses. There was a Mr. Blonde. I don't know if you ever heard of him. And a
Yeah.
666J1. So those were the two ones. The 666, he was involved with like the dark web. He was, involved with the Brotherhood of Nod and all these sort of hacktivist groups. But I was able to track some of them down. But they sent fire trucks to my house. They did a SWAT team. They sent a SWAT team. So I'm thinking
Right.
so what happened was one of them clowns posted something about me on your one of your Facebook pages or the Facebook pages
Yeah.
about
Well,
you,
I
and
saw that. I
and it
saw that.
pinged on me. So I've been doing this, contacting other people on the internet who've been harassed because this is what I do for fun. I'm trying to get vengeance on these sons of bitches.
Right. Right.
So I started reading up on you and saw some of the things that they were saying and doing to you, and it was eerie how similar. I mean, I'm thinking some of those
Right.
guys could be the same guys. I mean, there was a Mr. Blonde from the UK, so
Yeah.
he's probably the most
Well,
evil one. So I don't know. Maybe he's doing this with you. I don't know.
well, there's a guy that goes under Marty McFly. He's
I keep
under
seeing that name. Yeah.
Marty McFly, Marty Holmgren, and Marty Seamus. Let's backtrack for a second.
Okay.
I've been dealing with this for 20 some years, probably longer than anybody. 20 some years, as long as I've been doing my show. I do like a Howard Stern bit, kind of a Howard Stern kind of a crossover.
Yeah, I saw some of that. Yeah, I mean it's low budget, but it looks like you're having fun.
Yeah, we do the skits and whatnot. I had an interview with Susie Quattro back in Miami Beach, 2008. I've talked to different people in the Dave Matthews Band.
Wow.
So I've got some credits to my name. We did a documentary, so
I
people
watched
know
that
who
one. I didn't watch I saw that they did like a fake one, but I watched the real one
Yeah.
about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about half hour-ish, 45 minutes, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Right. So this has been going on for a while. Back in 2009, the trolls, the Something Awful trolls were involved, 4chan and Something Awful.
Oh yeah,
Because
those guys.
obviously
They share my pics. They share my videos on there too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want that, so I don't copyright infringement. So there's a legal lawsuit that I've got going on. I've had it thrown out a few times, but now this has been going on for 2 years. With Sean Brennan, you know who that is?
Is he the fat guy with the long hair? I think I saw a video with him.
No. He's and I'm not trying to sound racist, but he's a fat gay queer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what he is. That's what he is.
The fat gay queer is what he is.
Okay.
And he got on there. He took the reins. It's been going on. Dr. Quinn. You think of Dr. Quinn medicine?
Oh, I remember that show back. Yeah. My son used to watch
right,
that. Yeah.
Right. But Dr. Quinn was an alias, a guy named. See, because I used to be a PI myself. And I don't have. And of course, then you have to renew your license.
Yeah, I do data recovery. I work in IT now, so.
Yeah, so I'm limited on everything what I can do and whatnot. Though I do have PI friends. I do have a lady friend that is a PI that's ready to roll up her sleeves and get involved in this.
Good.
But here's the situation. So yes, they would do this, and they would do that. So then 2009 it restarted again, but it got more and more, to a point where I finally said, look, fuck this. So I took 2 of these main perpetrators, and I knew who they were. They're stupid enough because I unveiled the mask without anything else. I unveiled the mask off a lot of these people's real names. So I had
Did you hack
their
them?
real.
Did you get like their information,
No.
like their internet?
No. I didn't hack them. I just knew their real name because they're stupid. They just showed up there on their real.
None
Facebook
of mine.
channel.
The only one that I was able to get was Justin Thorne, who was LCC, and then there was an Ed Starnes, who was something else.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of them. There's a huge. It was international. It was a whole international ring. I mean, it was.
Right. So basically, Sean Brennan and Will Markland, who was a guy that was on Scrubs in North Hollywood.
That TV show with the doctor show?
Yeah. Well, he was on one episode where he didn't have a speaking role. He was on a movie with Bruce Willis.
Was
he has a
Die
scene
Hard? Was he on Die Hard?
I don't know which one it was. He was on the scene where he's eating a bowl of cereal, staring out a window, watching a woman across the road.
Oh, what a
that
creep. That's probably an easy role for him, yeah.
And he calls that an accomplishment. And the fact that he's got an fascination with the Lost in Space kid, Bill Numbie. He has an.
Okay, I've seen pictures of him. He posts pictures from that what's that TV show? Twilight Zone. I saw that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a fascination. So they're the 2 clowns that I've been suing. I had some paralegal guy that I found that was working for me and then turned on me. Some here that knows all about me and then turned on me and started befriending them. Some here, which he's going to get.
Is that a violation of his ethics? Can he get disbarred if he's doing that?
Well,
that seems pretty illegal.
Being a paralegal, you don't need a license, but he's doing shit he's not supposed to be doing. He has a heroin problem, and he had a heroin problem. Anyway, his ex now has been up the river for embezzlement. We're gonna light him up here not really too concerned about him, but he's the one that made things difficult by telling them things about me and sharing stuff. And I
Well,
told
that's
him
what they do.
exactly.
They get into your personal life. There was this girl that
Yeah,
I was interested. They found my dating profile on Plenty of Fish. They started
yeah,
posting that all over the place. They made fake profile, made fake websites. I mean, some of these
yeah.
guys actually hacked, not hacked. They stole all my pictures and they made fake Bad Boys websites. So I had to shut down
Right.
my website. They would email me. They would call me. It was the FBI.
So
I called the
my
FBI. They
girl.
didn't know.
Speaking of which, my ex-girl had a heroin problem and on to get off of it. Died last year.
I'm sorry.
Uh, that fucker, the paralegal guy, gave the name, and that's all they needed was the name. And then now they're turning me up saying that I raped her.
Oh my
Because
God.
she went ahead and told some of her girlfriends that I raped her. She was bipolar, but she was not. She was on her meds. She was cool. She was a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that the
you
girl
know,
that they're
and they're,
posting all the pictures on? The brown
yeah,
haired girl. I'm sorry. That's yeah. They do that to me. They mess with a girl by the name of Kristen Goldberg. She was this young, hot 28-year-old girl. I'm in my 50s, but she was sexy and she was lived
I
right across
turned
the street. And every time I
I turned
talked to her,
50. Yeah, I turned 50 in July.
okay, yeah, no, this girl was smoking. I mean, they did a whole thing on her. They called her up and they called her with my voice and screwed everything up because I would make threatening calls to the prank callers and they used my voice to
They
threaten
do
this
it on
girl.
auto and
And then
auto generator.
then her friend came in my shop, became my shop, threatening to beat me up. His name was Dane. And he wanted to fight me, and luckily we didn't come to blows, but they recorded that. They had him on they had his cell phone on it's like silent, and they were able to listen in, so they recorded all that too. So it's
This is
sinister.
what they do. You know, I'm a cab driver. I used to be a cab driver, having me go to a gay club, waiting for a ride, and
Oh,
of
I'm a
course, you know,
Christian, and I don't really approve of that kind of. I mean, I'm a
yeah, no,
born
no,
again
no, no, no,
Christian,
no,
and
no, no, no,
yeah.
no. I don't approve of that myself. No, I'm not. No, I'm not gay. No, trust me, I'm not.
I'm not. I mean, if you said
There,
you love
no,
that girl, right?
yeah. No, he, the Sean Brennan had me go to Godfrey's in a gay club to pick him up. I'm a cab driver, and
Okay,
wasted my time. I didn't realize it was him.
that's
You see?
bullshit. What happened with him?
Yeah,
Is he still?
yeah,
I don't see a Sean Brennan on the
yeah.
page. I
He's
mean,
right. Yeah, he's been very quiet now because of this lawsuit.
okay.
He's been very quiet because he's scared. He's a homo. He's homo shit. You know, he's scared shitless. But anyway, so going back to the girl, you know, it was a committed relationship I had with her. And again, obviously she had her demons. So they dropped her name. They found her a bit. Some of her girlfriends, she told some of her girlfriends that I read. She had a ongoing autism issue. But that was not the case. It was consensual. And then all these clowns now, a year later, found out about it. So they're posting her picture,
Yeah.
posting pictures of me.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So now,
And then they make you. It's such a pressure they play on you. And there's so many, and they attack from different angles. Like, I mean, I couldn't hang my phone up. That was my problem. Was I'd hang up
right,
my phone, and my customers couldn't call me. And that's why I mean, that's what hurt my business. Bottom line was,
right.
you can't if people are trying to call you and you're arguing with some jerk on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've lived it.
Oh,
You
just
you
Google
lived it.
Chris
You
the
got the
Hacker.
T-shirt.
They got a Wikipedia about me. It's
Yeah, well,
ridiculous.
they've got an encyclopedia about me.
Oh, Jesus.
It's Encyclopedia Dramatica, whatnot. Going through the shorts, it's got my name. It's talking about my lineage of my father, my family, even my deceased dog. You know, something about my deceased dog or whatever. Why
Oh, they
I took
attacked my ex-wife. They went after I got divorced back in '92, and they would
Right.
call her up and try to dig up dirt. And luckily, she was respectful and didn't really give them anything. But
Yeah.
it's
Well, this is
it's
what they do, and I do something visual right now. So they gone on the site and they posted stuff saying that I'm a rapist on an app site, saying I'm a rapist and whatnot. I do Uber and I do a food delivery thing right now. So I do Uber. They try to put that on their site. They put it on DoorDash that I'm a rapist and all that, trying to talk to the employees. They've got this Swede guy now has taken over the reins.
now this is Marty, right? I'm gonna write. I'm on my
Yeah.
computer. You said he's the guy. He's a kingpin, or he's the Mr. Blonde of this group.
He's now taking the reins from Sean because Sean is hiding, and then Will has been very vocal. Will is still mouthing off, but he's now taking the reins over. And of course, I've knocked down a few of his channels. I've got a name on him, but I'm not sure how true it is. I've got two different names on him myself, but I'm not sold on him. I know he's in San Francisco, though. he claims to be in Sweden.
Well,
So he has.
what he's probably doing, he's probably has VPNs everywhere. So it'll make it look like he's in one country when he's actually working in the other. They bounce the data off of the servers in different countries, and that's what they're probably doing. So you'll see like he'll say, he might post, and it might say he's posting in Sweden, but he's actually posting in wherever but you've got to break that cycle, and you got to get that, you got to get the IP address, and that's the key to all this. That's how I was able to get that Alfonso guy stuff.
Well, no, Alfonso's a 19-year-old punk. Yeah, he's a 19-year-old punk.
20, born in '97.
And I appreciate you guys. I was going to get his address. You got his address, so that right there helped tremendously because I knew who he was. I just didn't have his address.
Was he in? Did he live in Tempe, Arizona? Was that where you thought he was, Arizona? Because
I know he was in Arizona. Yeah. I knew he was in Arizona, and I knew he was a 19-year-old punk that was his daddy had raped him or whatever. So he's fucked in the head. So he's fucked in the head. But I don't have any sympathy for him because he's trying. He needs to get himself looked at. Most of these people have mental illness.
Right. No, they have no ethics and no morals, and they think that just by, like in my case, it's just a phone call. No. Hundreds of phone calls a day. Try to do your job, George. And when you say you're driving around, imagine getting a phone call every 10 seconds. How would you be able to work? How would you be able to get anything done?
I've had to change my number several times.
Yeah. And that's what they do. And they use their friends overseas to kind of protect them. Like when they want to do really, really bad, they'll say, "Oh, Kuhn, that was 666J1's name, Kuhn." And they're like, "Oh, Kuhn, why don't you do this instead of, because they don't want anybody. You can't expedite those people."
And that's the whole idea. But I believe this guy's in San Francisco. But then again, he claims he's in Sweden. He's an entertainment attorney, or he claims he's an entertainment attorney. Supposedly,
he probably lives in his parents' basement. I actually went to one of their houses. I actually this is a crazy story. It's not really talked about because they didn't want to provide this one. One of them lived about 45 minutes away from me in a suburb of Boston. So I went to their house, knocked on their door, nice suburban neighborhood, had their address. Mother and father came to the door. Very polite, nice couple. Talked to them, explaining what their son was doing. Their son came down the steps, saw me, ran up the stairs, locked his door, and guess what? He never prank called me again.
Yeah. I think Sean Brennan got scared because when the marshals came to his door, it kind of scared him. So he hasn't done anything. Sean Brennan was the ringleader. Sean Brennan was the ringleader. When the marshals came in the door to serve him, jumped out of the window.
Oh, of course, like a coward. That's what they have no strength. They're not fighters. They can fight as a swarm. They don't fight man to man.
So he has been quiet, but Will Marklin's still running the mouth.
So what else do you know about this? So Marty's the main guy you're looking after.
Right now, at him. Supposedly he knows the law. Supposedly he knows all this about the law. He's studying different stuff. He knows something.
Yeah.
He knows something.
He might be a paralegal. He might just be a college student or something. He might just be taking law classes.
Well, yeah, he knows this. Or he knows that. So he does videos using my last name on YouTube called Yard Wars under Alex Jones. Alex Jones things his war.
Oh yeah. I like that guy. I actually like him.
Yeah. I am a Clinton moderate.
Okay.
I am a Clinton moderate.
You might get mad when you say that I was a big Trump guy, but let's not argue with politics.
Well, no, right. No, I mean, Bill Clinton is my Lord and Savior.
Okay.
Bill Clinton. I did not have sex with that woman, but anyway, that's my guy.
Right. Okay.
That's why I wanted his wife back in there. But anyway, I wanted his wife in there to get Bill in there. But anyway, that being said, no, I mean, I'm not. I've got mixed feelings about Trump. I don't totally hate the guy. I just don't approve of some of his tactics. But that's
okay. Well, let's talk. Let's not get too off on track. So Marty. Okay. So Marty's the way. Who else would like to? Because you got to. If you can't get him, if he's overseas, or if he's doing that, are there others that you're targeting? Like who else is like? I see a lot of those guys. I see an Alfonso.
Will Marklin. I've already got his address. Will Marklin is the main one that I'm. Sean Brennan and Will Marklin. I've got their address. I'm suing those two. I want to add Marty in. My main goal right now is Marty.
Yeah.
His real name is not McFly. It's either Holmgren or Seamus.
Yeah.
But I believe he's in San Francisco, and I have his number.
Yeah,
Just gonna
I
have
try to
have
do.
his number.
He does have some better, better. He wasn't like Piss, where all you had to do was just literally just send him a message and say accept. And that's what Piss did. He literally just, I had his IP address, sent him a message, and he said yes. So that won't work with Marty, because I think he's a little smarter than.
Well, he goes under Carl Jenkins. That's his stock account.
Okay. I
Carl
keep
Jenkins.
seeing that guy a lot. I see a lot of him. I see like
He is under Carl Jenkins. He's under George the Popper.
I see him.
He's got a lot of stuff. Yeah, he's under
I see
Harnish.
him a lot. I see Jay Smith, a Billy Baxter, a few other people.
Yeah, he's under Harnish.
Okay.
Harnish or whatever. He's that one. So yeah, he's got a few stock. He's got a large amount of stock accounts.
So is there a lot of how many of these guys are there? Like, do you think there are? Because I dealt with
Well,
around 15 of them, like regulars. But
there's about 20 of them, 20 some of them.
Okay.
And they're trying to recruit people. They recruit people, on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. What they would do, what my guys would do, is they would actually like go on message boards and just say, hey, do you want to, they would just advertise. And actually, the one guy would use stolen credit cards, and he would use that money to pay people to harass me. This guy Kuhn,
Yeah.
he would use stolen credit card numbers and then
a Patreon account, right? Yeah, that's hardcore. They got a Patreon account. They've formed also too.
Oh God, raise money.
Yep, against for the legal. So he's there because there's a legal case, a federal legal case that's going on right now for copyright and defamation. The judge is presiding over the copyright, the defamation, and of course the case because I'm fighting a foreclosure. I've been fighting a foreclosure for 10 years. Fighting a foreclosure. I've been fighting a foreclosure.
I saw you saw my video. I was living in a men's shelter for a couple of years after about 6 months after my business went up. I got on my feet. I moved down with Florida with my brother.
Right.
They don't care. They actually called the homeless shelter and trying to get in touch with me. I didn't talk to them, but that's the kind of people you're dealing with. We're dealing with.
And now this morning, guys, I found out who this fucker is taking pictures of my house. This is another thing that's pissing me off. Again, it's Henry Mitchell. I've got his name. I've got his address. I did this
Henry
for my
Mitchell.
home.
I'm going to write this down. I'm going to put it on my computer. Henry Mitchell.
He's Debo Neighbor is his soccer team.
Okay. I saw him. It was like a country. It'd be like a map or something, right?
Yeah, right. So he and Jay, whatever his name is, are the two. Jay is an African American.
Jay Smith. Okay, yeah.
Jay Smith is an actual African American guy, and then of course Debo Neighbor is looks like this buck-toothed mongoose.
Oh, jeez.
Like a buck-toothed mongoose or whatnot.
Have you seen him? Have you seen him when he's taking the pictures? Because my guys, their guys take videos.
If I would have seen him, I would have killed him.
Yeah.
I would have grabbed him. If I saw him on the street, I don't give a damn. I would have grabbed him and I would have body slammed him.
Well, what you need to do is because they'll cry and bitch if like a little girl if you put their hands on them. What you gotta do is you gotta just let them know that you know who they are.
Well, I told this guy was careless, so somebody infiltrated and told me. I checked it up. He admitted. He said, "Yeah, that's my name and my address. So what?" I said, "You stupid ass."
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
They like to brag. They like to push. They like to go to the far the edge as they can. They want you to know everything about them because that gives them a high. That turns them on.
He said, he's a stupid ass. Yeah, so what? That's my address and my name. What should tell you? I said, you stupid moron.
You've contacted the police, right?
I've contacted Newport News. I've called the police here numerous times. They don't do shit. Now I've got this son of a bitch, and he's making threats about coming again. I said, I'm going to tell you one more time. So Marty's paid you $4,500, and you've already admitted to that. He said,
so Marty's funding this guy?
Supposedly, yes.
Well, then you could probably get him on like money laundering charges.
He didn't say 40. He didn't say Marty, but he said he's made.
Do you know where Marty gets his money from? Because if he's getting his money from dirty sources online, and he's having you commit those acts against you, that could be like fraud and money laundering charges against Marty.
Yeah, well, and it's a Patreon account there. He's using that. I don't believe there is a Patreon account. They're saying it's a Patreon account. I don't believe there is a Patreon account. I believe it's money that's being money laundered, like you just said. Money laundering from overseas.
Do you think he's involved in any sort of like other illegal activity?
Like
drugs or anything?
I believe he has criminal mind a criminal mind. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah, because I mean, some of those guys, they would use what's called the dark web, and they would go in, and that's where all the child pornography and all the drugs and all the bad stuff that you can't get on, that gets shut down. That's the
Yeah.
stuff. That's where they would go, and they would use that to fund their stuff. They use a thing called, they wanted to call the toy chest, and that was like their meeting place. It was like this chat thing. They'd all chat together. This was before Facebook got big, so they would have these
Right.
meetings, like these like round table meetings, so how they were going to get people. And I
Right.
infiltrated them. I actually joined their servers, and I would comment, and eventually they found out it was me. But that's how I do my research. You gotta do your research on these guys.
Well, what I'm doing, I've covered a lot. I've pulled the veil off of many of these people. Just by simply going on Facebook and checking their name out, I pulled the veil off of many damn people. But now, so this guy is why he's now in charge, why he's there, because he's unknown. Well, he's not unknown, but obviously he's still hiding.
Yeah.
He's still he's still his anonymity hasn't been pulled yet. His anonymity or whatever. He goes under the alias Marty McFly.
So he's Carl
Marty
Jenkins,
McFly,
though. So he's Carl. I'll see what I can do on him. If I get his IP address, we could, that would at least we could get him to like a geographical region.
I believe he's in San Francisco, and I believe he goes either by Marty Seamus, Marty Scallion Seamus, or Marty Seamus. I've got a telephone number for him too. But I mean, I got a telephone number for him. I've called, but I'm not 100% sure.
Did he answer when you called? Have you ever called with like a?
No.
Yeah.
No, because I blocked my number.
Oh. So he won't answer. Yeah, he won't answer
Yeah.
from that. Yeah.
I've called a few times that number. So it's either Martin Scallion Seamus or Martin Seamus, or Martin Holmgren. But Martin Holmgren, I don't.
Holmgren sounds like the most normal name of the three. Like that. Like obviously Marty McFly is from those movies back in the day, but Holmgren kind of seems the most legitimate of those three. Seamus, Scallion doesn't seem like a real name to me.
Well, he admits that he's that person, Holmgren, but I'm not 100% sold on him. He admits that he's Marty Holmgren.
So he says he's a Swedish attorney, huh?
Yeah. He's a Swedish attorney, and so he admits he's Marty Holmgren. He admits he's Marty Holmgren, but I'm not sold on him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
if he is,
do you think he travels though? Do you think maybe he like does business in the U.S. and lives?
Yeah,
over
well,
there?
he does. I believe he goes around.
So do you think you said he's an entertainment attorney? You think he does like movies and does like movie contracts and stuff, or what?
I think he does something to that effect. He claims that he knows Bill Clinton, which I seriously doubt.
Oh, please.
He claims he knows Bill Clinton. I seriously doubt that. Oh, he's got because he's campaign or which I doubt that seriously. I don't believe that.
That's it. That is how Hollywood works. So, but anyway, yeah, that's crazy, George.
But this guy supposedly thinks he's beyond reproach. He thinks he's beyond reproach. He can do and say what he wants. Of course, if he's in a different country, then it's jurisdiction.
Right.
Jurisdiction.
Well, that's what happened with Mr. Blonde. He lived in the UK. I had everything. He's the one that actually sent a fire trucks. They actually put me in a three-way call. They called the Belmont the fire department, saying there was a fire at my shop, and I kept pleading with the officers, there is no fire, and guess what? They go, we still have to send a police. So they sent the trucks over, and there I was standing outside my shop, and all of a sudden the fire trucks came here because that son of a bitch, Mr. Blonde, did what he did, and nobody, they didn't listen, and
the internet should be policed. The internet should be policed.
Well, the problem is they worry about drugs and child pornography, but they don't care. They don't understand what the internet can do. They say, "Oh, just hang up on these guys or ignore them." Well, I can't.
You cannot ignore them. You cannot ignore them
because they find their friends and they have nothing better to do. They just keep prodding, and it's like it's one thing to be touched by one person. Someone bumps into you. But imagine having 100 people bump into you at the same time. That really can hurt you, and that's what these guys are doing.
It's just me and just me alone.
Why did they go after you? Because with me, they didn't like me because I fought back. That was what my thing was. They thought I was going to be a prank call victim, like Frank Garrett.
Yeah, well, I pretty much would play around at first, but then when they start, getting into my real world, then I start dropping the hammer down, lawsuit and all this other stuff.
Have you ever met any of them? Have you ever met any of them face to face?
The only one I know is the paralegal guy here.
Oh.
Paralegal guy here, but obviously that showed his true
Are
colors.
they because of my like what happened was some of the locals we had some kids living in God what was his name one of the fun oh I forgot Chris Santos his name was and he lived about a half hour away and he would come into my shop pretending he asked questions be like oh how much will it be to fix this virus or how much will it be to remove this blah 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 and then he would come back and he'd play the video online of me
And
talking to him.
this is what they do. They say, "Oh, well, freedom of speech. We have a right to do this because of freedom of speech." Well, freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to defame and slander somebody, like yelling "fire" in a movie
Oh, I
theater,
know
or
about fire. They sent the
you know,
fire trucks.
yeah, or using the N word, or being racial, or derogatory, made up stories and whatnot, or saying somebody raped somebody, and all this other shit. This is doesn't freedom of speech doesn't give you that give you carte blanche to say all that shit. It doesn't give you the right. You can say, but there's consequences involved with that. And this is what these people don't know. That's my amendment right that I can say whatever. No, you can't
Oh,
just say
they
anything.
hide behind that, and they hide behind their computers. They use their software. Like
Yeah.
that's why they didn't like me because I was smart enough to figure out. I mean, they'd harassed this old man Frank Garrett. Frank Garrett was this 80-year-old man living in Oklahoma, Stillwell, Oklahoma, and they called him and they made hundreds of phone calls and they'd harass all the neighbors. They'd harass the library and the pawn shop. It's unbelievable. They do it for their likes and they make money off of it because what they'll do is they'll make money off their YouTube videos. They'll get all this money off their YouTube. To me, that's
Yeah.
making money. That's like drugs. That's like dealing drugs. You're making money off
Right.
of something illegal.
So
So
what I've done, I've sued for copyright and defamation. They threw out the defamation. Copyright is still on the table. I got 4 copies of the Law Library of Congress. They say, well, you got to do all your work. That's not true. Law Library of Congress, all you need to do is give samples of your work entitled to your show. They think, well, you have to sample everyone.
what does your
Everyone.
attorney? What does your attorney say when they bring
Uh,
that up?
it's pro se. I'm pro se.
Okay.
That's part of the problem right there.
Yeah.
But it's what it is. But they go ahead and say, you can't, you need more than just the samples. I mean, you need all of your work. No, all you need is samples of your work and the show title.
Will
And
you
that
get
you're
paid
and
out
you register in the
if you
Library of Congress.
if and when you win? What like are they? Do they have money? Those guys. The one guy, if he's in Hollywood, he's probably got some big bucks.
I doubt if he has a pot to piss in, but it's
Yeah.
just the principle and being able to remove all that shit,
Yeah.
get all that shit removed.
Well,
And
the
now
problem
there's
is
more of them.
they
There's
just
more of them now.
well the problem
Yeah.
too is they have all their friends make mirror accounts. Like I'd get some of their videos taken down, but then they 4 more. They'd make there's one guy called I'm a
Yeah.
Legal Firm. He like archives all the video, all the calls about me. It's ridiculous.
Right. Well, that's what they do. They'll create more pages, more channels, more stuff, more pages, more channels, more stuff, and they'll use sock accounts, impersonation. I've knocked down every impersonation account they've made of me.
Yeah.
They did one recently, posting on his site saying that I like stocky bottoms and I'm gay and all this shit.
They
I'm a
love to
racist.
they love to talk. They
Talk
love to
about
drop
gay.
the gay. They love to say I'm gay. They said I was. They'd say I was gay too, and I'm married. I was married for 15 years. It's
Yeah.
they
So I've
found
gone
my
ahead and removed the shit. I've knocked down a lot of their channels. I've recently that guy in New Jersey who you got.
yeah.
I have an easy time with him knocking down his channels. If I
Yeah,
tell them to
he's a
knock it
weird.
down,
He seems like an odd guy. That's just. But you said he's got some
yeah,
mental problems.
yeah. Every time I say knock him down, YouTube will knock his down. But on these other people, I have to say, well, if fair use this and fair use that, I said, no, it's not fair use. I am the owner and the author. But if they get the fair use doctrine, they keep dropping that. Well, I own it. I have it. I have a legal court case that's going on right now. Remove it.
Right.
And there's a defamation case that's going to be restarted. This guy's trying to cut right in front of me here.
Oh no. Oh, you're driving.
Yeah, this guy's trying to cut.
Oh.
Idiot's trying to cut in front of me. No, that's fine. No, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But so this is what it is. So yeah, I'm very paranoid.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm happy you're. I just want you to. I wouldn't believe me either. My story's so spectacular that most people look at me when I try to explain it to them. They look at me like I'm crazy. But Go on, just Google Chris the Hacker, and the first thing you'll see is a week.
Well, we obviously have a lot in common other than politics. We have a lot in common as far as what we believe in, as far as living. I've lived it for a long time.
Yeah.
You've lived it obviously for a while yourself.
3 years,
So,
3 years nonstop, and then it ended in 2012.
well,
And they still will contact me. They'll still message me. They'll still find me out. So I got to change my phone, my email. So
yeah. Well, there's the. I kind of find these things eventually. I kind of find out who these people are eventually by hook or crook.
right.
But the Marty guy, I want to add him to the fucking case. The Marty character, I want to add him to the fucking case.
Yeah,
I need to have him.
I will try to find out who he really is. If I can get his IP address, it's game over. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like I did. I got Alfonso's like it was nothing. I mean, it took me half hour at work.
But well, yeah.
I mean, anybody else? Is there a list of guys you want me to look at besides Marty and Henry Mitchell?
Well, I already know Will Markman, but I'd like to get. I mean, if you can, get like a background check on these people too. I used to be able to do that myself.
Yeah.
But
well, let me go on their page. Let me get a list of some of the guys. Let me just go on here.
Yeah, that background check on these people. I mean, what kind of crimes they've committed. That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I see. I'm looking at them right now.
Will Markman. To get a picture of.
Well, I see Carl Jenkins. I see a Frey Bentos, a Michael Saunders.
Michael Saunders is a paralegal guy.
Okay. A Robert Floyd.
He's in Ukraine, I believe.
Okay, there's Jeremy Warren. That's the guy from wherever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hamish McIntosh. Sure. Now that's Marty, right?
Yep.
Okay, there's Debo.
Who's this?
Debo. I saw Debo. Debo Nair. Got Billy
Baxter.
Baxter.
Oh, yeah. That's Henry Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's Henry Mitchell from Newport News.
We got Billy Baxter. Do you know who Billy Baxter is?
I want to say he's Will Markman, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. He posts a lot of stuff.
Debor Neighbor.
Yeah.
Debor Neighbor.
Will Markland.
Debor Neighbor. I like to kind of connect the dots slow on that and make sure he is.
Yeah. There's a I can't even pronounce this name. Vakaka Jekik. I don't know who that is. Some girl. Some woman. Some girl. Vakaka.
Yeah, she's her name is Lorraine Brezron in Russia.
Oh, the Russians are involved?
Yeah, she's in Russia.
Yeah.
Lorraine Brezron or whatever.
Oh, there's Alfonso. Okay, see Alfonso again. Dewey Manlover.
Yeah, he's I believe he's a guy from South Carolina. But I'm not sure.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I see Fred Herbert. Yeah, I see Fred Herbert, and that's one of the main prank call guys. He owned a bail bond shop in Upland, California.
Yeah. So whoever's using that, obviously, is one of your trolls.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll have to contact him because it's a very tight knit community, the soundboard people. But I got to be careful when I contact them because they seem a little more tech savvy than your trolls. Your trolls, they are not as they don't have hackers. I mean, they don't have hacktivists on their side.
What I'm concerned about my stuff being hacked into. I'm concerned about my stuff being hacked into that they can see shit that they have no knowledge of, or mention that I have a fan club, secret fan club, which I do, which they would have no knowledge of, but they're talking about the secret fan club. So it makes me wonder if they try to hack into my.
Do they have like
stuff.
secret pages and stuff, or is this like their only source? Because if I have a secret page, like a private page, maybe I can get in there and kind of infiltrate.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, I have a page. I think that they might have. I don't know how they or whatever. Try to hack my phone or.
Well, they'll do that. They'll do that. Do you have an iPhone or a Droid?
Yeah, I got an iPhone.
Yeah, well, that's better than a Droid, but they can do it. I mean, I've got an iPhone and I've got 2 levels of virus protection and internet security and a VPN so that they don't know where I'm at.
Right, I need to get that on my phone. I need to get this. I have it, but I need to.
Do they attack your computer ever? Do they ever like hack into your computer?
They used to. They might have recently. I don't know. I go to the library. I don't have Wi-Fi, so someone went in there saying basically that you want to shut your computer off. I thought it was somebody breaking in there.
Oh, they can do it. They know where you're at. They know where your computer is. Their terminal.
I I didn't log off, or they said, well, you might want to log off, in the library.
Yeah.
It could have been somebody's computer, but kind of saw it. Normally you just log it off.
Right. At the library, they probably got better like security and stuff there too. So, it's
I
all
don't know.
about security. It's all about internet security. And but they manipulate. They use lies. I mean,
To their narrative. They use stuff to their narrative to make it sound right. Well, if he's broke, how can he pay for prostitutes? If he's gay, what's he doing with a woman?
right.
I mean,
They're hypocrites. They're all hypocrites. But they love
Yeah.
to push buttons. They found out that that I'm talking to this girl, and they started messaging her, and they messaged all my neighbors. They actually recorded this little boy who worked at his mom owned the real estate company 2 buildings down. His name was Jake. They recorded his voice. I mean, think about that. Recording a little boy's voice.
Saunders, yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah, recording conversations. They record the conversations. Saunders recorded the conversation with the paralegal guy. His wife is going up the river for embezzlement, and I believe he had something to do with it.
Really?
His wife is going up the river for embezzlement.
Well, has he been bragging about like buying anything new or bragging about money? Because that's usually what they do.
Yes. He brags about that he makes so much more money than anybody does, or he makes so much more money than this person does and that person does.
As a paralegal, I mean, they make good money, but they don't make lawyer money.
He goes on Craigslist and puts his ads on Craigslist.
He probably does other stuff. He probably does other stuff on Craigslist,
Yeah, he's not. He knows stuff, but he's not licensed.
Oh.
Put it that way.
How'd you find out with him? Was he like a family friend or something, or what happened?
I found him out on Craigslist.
Oh,
he's done a lot of shitty stuff. He brags about all the money he makes. So basically, he's been in jail for having a.
Oh, George, you're breaking up. Hello?
This phone, It's raining right now. The signal might have dropped or whatever.
Oh. You're in Virginia, right? You live in Virginia.
I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah.
Okay, I'm outside of Boston. Belmont.
Raining. Yeah. So it's raining right now, but so he's been in for Peter Dusterhofer, or he hasn't been in jail for that, but that's what he used to do. He's a heroin and cocaine and whatnot. So he's had a track record, done and all that. So now he's on. The probation officer knows all this shit. He's the guy that does this, that knows some of the shit. So he befriended these people. He turned on me and he befriended these people.
Why would he do that? Like, what did they pay him? Like, why would anybody?
I guess that's what this guy obviously has money. This guy has, and so his wife got an embezzlement in a local elementary school, which was the funder of the PTA. So now she's in for embezzlement. So she's probably giving him money. So he's probably in on it also when he got it.
But he's divorced. But you said he's gay though. How is he like? That's.
What's that now?
You said he's gay though. I thought.
Oh yes, he's gay. He's gay. He's married to a guy.
But he got divorced. What a weirdo.
Yeah, he's bisexual. Supposedly, I guess is what he is.
Oh, I guess they're everywhere, right?
Never. I mean, no offense, but I don't. Will never understand.
Did he hit on you?
I just said, look, man, I don't fly that way.
Well, that's why they call you gorgeous.
Yeah. It's all about the poo-tang. That's all it was about.
Yeah, no, I'm on Plenty of Fish. You been on that site?
No. Well, I haven't. There's another site.
Yeah, I tried Tinder, but it's all. I'm way too old for Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah, that's like the left, right, yes, no. I mean, there's some hot girls, but they're all from the college, so out of my age bracket.
Right. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, it is pouring down. I'm getting ready to work right now. But look, I wanted to at least touch base with you.
Yeah. No, I listen, and I know that like my. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, my story's nuts. And I mean, if I were you, I'd be like super hesitant too. That's why I wasn't like offended when you had your doubts on those first messages. And I use Proton Mail because I don't trust those anybody. So that's just why it's very secure. So But yeah,
Right.
why don't you just email me in a couple of days and maybe we can have another talk and I'll do some digging, see if I can find anything on Marty and a couple of the other
Well,
clowns.
right now, the two right now, or actually the three. I mean, I already know about Will Markland, but I want to see where he's at. Will Markland now hasn't done much. He's one of the guys that I'm going after. He's
Yeah.
removed some of his posts. I want to see what Will Markland's doing, if he's still involved in that group. Debo Neighbor, even though I know he's Henry Mitchell,
Yeah.
I want to connect the dots. Henry Mitchell or Debo Neighbor, I want to connect the dots with that. And of course, yes, Marty being, Chad or Jenkins guy
Yeah.
and
You take I mean the truth
Martin.
is you take out Marty and all his it's like at war. You take out the head general, you take out the king, all his troops will scatter and they won't have a leader, and that's what you got to
Well,
do. You
that's
got
what I thought when I took Sean Brennan out, but then he appeared. After I took Sean Brennan out, then this guy appeared.
he rises like
So
the
when you think,
yeah.
yes, this is a psychosis, no doubt.
No,
All right,
it's
yeah, it is. But
yeah.
I tell you what, let's reconvene tomorrow if you're not busy.
I should be fine in the afternoon. So just message me in
Okay.
the morning, and then maybe we can set a time up when we're both free.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
I will talk. Bye bye.
All right. I was in the bathroom. How's it going?
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, you're very much welcome.
Oh,
Very
great.
much welcome.
Yeah. They So is it checking
Very much
out?
welcome.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I'm doing Uber as I'm talking to you, so it's kind of hard for me to be, use the app, and so I'm doing
Right.
Uber.
No. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah. But look, you're very much right. You've knocked it out of the park on a couple of these on the clowns. I mean, two of them already had the information on. You already confirmed it. Jay, I didn't have the information on, and
Yeah. His number might not be 100% accurate, so I'm gonna do a little more digging on him. But I think his address though is legit.
well, Jay and that other clown Henry live in the same area.
Yeah, he lives in Norfolk. This guy
Yeah.
Jay lives in Norfolk, Virginia.
So in the same area, Newport News and Norfolk, they're close.
So
that's how they get together.
maybe they drive together. Maybe one picks the other one up. Probably boyfriend. They're probably dating, but for all we know.
I'm wondering if they're private investigators, because if they are, I'm gonna have to strip. I used to be a PI.
Yeah.
I used to be a PI. I can't do what I used to do because I'm not a PI. I have a girlfriend, well, not a girlfriend, but a lady friend who is a PI, and she's trying to do. But I mean, hell, you've done more than she's ever. I mean, you've done more within about an hour than she's done.
It's a lot of time in computer work. I've got a degree master's degree in computer engineering with a background in forensic data forensics. So this is easy for me.
Well, things have. I mean, there's a reason and rhyme why people meet, and there's a reason and rhyme for all this. So I think that I think you're doing a great job right
the
there.
Americans are easy. The Americans are easy because there's less gateways and there's less firewalls. When they remote in to when they connect to an American server, there's less firewalls, less things in the way. But so that's why. So obviously when we take down Marty, he's going to be the toughest one because if he is overseas. I mean, we don't know. I don't know where he is yet. I mean, I haven't really.
Well, we pinged him in San Francisco with that same number that you pinged him in the Netherlands. So I'm just trying to figure this out because I had someone else pinged him.
Is there any? Here's my thing. He's probably does he call you on a computer line like on a headset like through a computer?
Yeah. Well, that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah, because
he's probably doing.
Because if he is, this is. I mean, I know this might be tough, but if he calls you, his number will generate because he generates new phone numbers every time he probably calls. So he'll leave a trace, an IP trace when he calls. So those older numbers aren't popping up because they might be older. But if he calls you on a new number, that might.
He hasn't called me. Right, you have to call me because I'm changing.
But you got to talk to him for a while. It's almost like when you watch like the old police shows, like you're tracing the call, you got to be on for so long. That's not how it works with the police. But with this, it might be because if he calls you and you give me his number and you're talking to him, I can maybe dig and see who's actually using that number at that time. You know what I mean? So it's like if he's calling you at let's say 515-2200. I can, you message me, you say, hey, I'm on the phone with him right now. I can start digging and see where that number's pinging from.
Well, see, but you see, but the police don't do shit around here. They don't do that.
They
They
don't.
absolutely don't do
It's not their. It's not their. They don't. The only people that would really be able to handle that would be like something like the FBI or Homeland Security, and that
Yeah.
this isn't their game. They're more concerned with trafficking and drug dealing and
You should be making a whole hell of a lot of money doing what you do.
I
I mean,
do
I would think.
okay. I do okay. I ran my own business, but
A
I'm
lot of
doing
money.
okay. It's
Good for you.
I work for a consulting company. We do a lot of projects, a lot of digital projects. And
But well, there you go. So I mean, so they don't fuck with you anymore.
well, they
Or do
try
they?
to find me. They actually every few months, if you look online, there'll be like a call, but I just hang up on them. They're not as the community has kind of cooled off in the last 2 to 3 years because they don't have someone to prank call. Their favorite guy was the bail bondsman, Fred Herbert. He was their guy for the longest time. And now that Fred's passed and he doesn't make, they weren't calling him anymore. They don't have as much fun because there's not as many victims. It started with Arnold
Right.
Schwarzenegger. They did what called Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, and then they called Frank Garrett and the bail bondsman and me, and there's a whole cast of characters, Rick the Mullet Man and Ed
Right. So
Powell.
they used to wait. So this guy was in his business, and then I guess he recently passed away. So
Yeah.
they were
So
fucking.
to give you a whole story on the whole history of those guys, it really started with a guy called Frank Garrett. Frank Garrett was this little old man who ran a pole barn builders in like Oklahoma, and he didn't understand what was going on, and he was this cuss. He was funny, this little feisty old man swearing and talking trash, and he was a funny guy, but they just
Yeah.
kept harassing him, and then they used his voice calling me. They called Fred. They called this Google. Watch a video called "Nightmare on Burton Street." That was like their big thing. They harassed a whole town, a little street in Missouri, and they were
Right.
and they were terrified. So that's kind of the people that I dealt with. But
Right. Well, like I said, they don't have this number. They have my own number. I don't dare give them this number. I can probably get another. I probably turn that other old number back on maybe, but I'm trying to. I owe Verizon a lot of money because I got to hide on some shit.
yeah. Now, is
But
there any chance that you could get in touch with Marty?
I blocked my number.
Do you have another number you can use?
Uh, don't. I mean, it's the only one right now. The other number's disconnected because I haven't paid the bill.
Oh.
This number
Yeah,
is
because if he's using a computer phone and whatever number he calls, that's how we'll get him. That's how we'll get him.
Okay, well, I will try to get the other number back up. I mean, I just give you another number. Give you another number that he used to call me from. I don't know if you got that one.
The 804 number?
No, that number. No. Well, no. That number is a. Shit, what was that number? I just. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second because I gotta dig it up. I just had the other phone here.
Let
The other phone is fried, but I mean I can still see old contacts. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
510 area code.
Okay, hold on. 510.
510 area code 95. Yep, 4691.
Okay. Yeah, it might be dead. If he's not using this number, it might be hard to find him. If he uses whatever his newest number is, I probably will have a few hours to work off of that. So he'll leave tracks. He'll be, you leave a footprint. Everywhere you go, you leave a footprint, a digital footprint. So
Yeah, he used that number. He used that number long. I mean, he called me every time. He called me every time with that number. So try that number and see what you can come up
yeah.
with. That's the code.
Why does he pick Marty McFly? Is there something? There might be something to
Because
that.
obviously it's Back in the Future.
Right.
I guess they like Back to the
I'm just
Future,
wondering maybe if like his name is a play on Mike. Maybe his name is Michael. I don't, or Fox. I don't know. Maybe some.
That's why I'm thinking it's because they called him Seamus. That was the character in that movie named Seamus too. I think.
What about the
No,
wrestler?
that was
Well,
the
there's
film.
also that wrestler Sheamus. Do you ever watch? Are you a fan of wrestling?
Well, I don't watch wrestling anymore. I used to watch with Ric Flair. And
Oh yeah. Well, there's a guy. His name is Sheamus. He's got red hair. He tag teamed with Cesaro. So I don't know. Maybe that could be something too. We can look into that too. Maybe he's a big old wrestling fan.
Well, but yeah, like I said, he doesn't claim Sheamus. So when we pinged him, it's come up Stallion Sheamus, Martin Sheamus, Sheamus Martin.
Is he Irish? You think he's Irish? The Irish Bug?
He's either that or British.
But not Swedish. Swedish. So he's either Swedish, Irish.
Well, he calls himself the Swedish Attorney General.
Oh, that's he's full of shit.
Huh?
Yeah, he's full of shit.
Yeah. But I like to call him the. I'm sure he's got a criminal record. I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, normal people don't do this. It's either little kids or thugs. I mean, he's probably running something else too. He very well could be using this to make. I mean, my guess is, and this is just kind of scary, is that he does this to make money. He gets YouTube money. He could be using this to gain hits and get followers, and then sells his videos. I mean, he might be selling this too. You never know. Has he ever talked about like any sort of Etsy or eBay or anything like that?
Well, Sean Brennan, the original guy, said he took my show to film festivals. That's part of the lawsuit.
Huh.
Sean Brennan took my show to the film festivals and all that. So basically, that's part of the lawsuit against him. Then you have Markland, who's been taking my stuff. I mean, Markland has been taking my shows and making them, stealing the copyright, and he's also defaming me. He's defaming me on a lot of these shows, calling me a flamer.
They're children. They're like children.
But I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh God, I mean they made they took my website and they made it like they nimped me one time. They sent me all this gay porn. So I clicked on a link. I had to start my computer off because there was so much gay porn downloading on my computer.
Right. They have gone ahead and taken had people when Craigslist was when they had the dating thing on Craigslist, they would take when this one gay guy came to my house 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. My old dog jumped up and went off. I said, can I help you? And they said, I said, well, this is the address. I said, yes, this is my address. Can I help you? Well, someone said just to come right in. I said, you ain't coming in at all.
He wanted to hook up with you?
Yeah. So I said, you need to say who the hell you are. He said, well, there's an ad on Craigslist. I said, is that right? I said, you wait right here. And I called the police.
Did he get arrested?
He said, well, I don't want to get into trouble. I said, you just wait right here. You're going to tell the police what you're telling me.
Huh. Oh yeah, they love doing that stuff. They used to put my ads up. They would send it got to the point where I had to call every single restaurant in Belmont, Massachusetts to tell them I don't take deliveries.
What's that?
They would order food to my shop every single day.
They have done that repeatedly to me. They have done that repeatedly. Put my face. Of course, they're saying that I raped my girl, and they're putting my face on restaurants, saying this is a rapist. Yeah, that's what that Henry and Jay are doing.
That's what they're doing. And they take videos, right? I saw them showing some video of you out in the rain or something.
Yeah, I was cutting my grass.
You got to find these guys. You need to.
Oh, well, I know. Well, we already know who two are now already.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I already knew who the one was.
Oh.
You found the second one for me. So we got two of them. The one in Norfolk and the one in Newport News.
They're probably not private. They're probably boyfriends. That's probably his boyfriend. Yeah. They go on a ride together, and that's what they do.
They're the ones taking the pictures. They're the ones that are following me. And I told them, I said, you do it again, I'm gonna get in your world.
Yeah.
You do it again, I'm gonna get in your world.
They as soon as they see you, they freak out. I mean, again, that little kid, when he saw me, he ran upstairs. I mean,
And if they are PIs, they're going to get stripped. I said, if you're a PI, I used to be a PI. You got to go through a code of ethics. If you're a PI, you will be stripped from your license.
How long were you a PI for?
But I didn't really use it. I dabbled. I didn't do any money out of it. I was a licensed PI for 4 months. I mean, 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to renew it. And then I didn't. But you had to follow a code of ethics.
Right.
You have to follow a code of ethics. You can't harass somebody. You can't.
And they have nothing. They have no ethics, no values, no morals.
But if this clown is a private investigator, he'll be stripped. If he's a private investigator, he will be stripped of his license. And he's already admitted that this guy has paid him well, he didn't say he paid him, but he said he's made $4,500. He already, I've got it saved. He said,
do they have any other websites? Do they run any message boards or anything? Because that might be some good information too.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they have. I just don't have the time to, but they have, Kiwi Farms and 4chan and.
Oh, I know all about 4chan.
And then Something Awful.
Yeah, that's still around. I remember that was where they started sharing some of my video and Something Awful, but I haven't heard about them in a while.
Something Awful is right there. They got that going on too. That's still there.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I've got a ping. Well, I got a ping on my phone.
Oh, okay.
All right, but look, listen. Okay, so look, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You understand why I mean, you understand why I did what I did before. I didn't know
Listen,
you were.
I would have been probably more cautious than you were. That's just how I am.
But I mean, you've already proved to me just about a little. I mean, one day, in an hour, you've already,
Yeah, and
Of course, we know.
I apologize for sending you into that photon mail. We could have probably done this a month ago, but I wanted to, I
Well,
was
yeah,
just bored the other night.
I saw that it's a Swedish thing. Yeah, when I saw that Swedish thing, I was kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, but I made sure I
But
wrote a long email to you to kind of give you the whole backstory because it's a wild story, my story. Make a good book.
well, yeah, it's a story. It's a story, and but look, man, I appreciate it. I mean, hopefully with your help, I can get this
We're
Marty.
gonna get we'll get Marty for sure. That's what we're gonna do.
Get Marty. That's the main thing, and then I
Yeah.
want to get into his world.
And then when
add
he
him to the
goes
bar.
down, they're all gonna go down. All of them. Baxter and Smith and all those guys, they're all going down.
Well, Will Marklin is probably Baxter, but I need to find out.
I'll
Will
look into
Marklin's
him too because I mean his posts are pretty ridiculous. I mean that guy seems to have a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah, well, Will Marklin he's got sock accounts. He's the one I'm suing.
Yeah,
Will
so
Marklin's been very quiet as of recent.
Yeah, maybe he is Baxter. I mean he seems to be one of the more wittier of the groups. He seems always to have something good, always something brewed up.
Well, peg his ass and see if he's real.
Yeah, I'll get a picture of him.
And I'll
really
and we'll talk monetary. I mean, if we can get definitely if we get Marty, we'll definitely be talking monetary.
Oh, unless it's 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures, I'm not interested. I just do this for fun. This is easy for me. This is just my solace, my vengeance, because maybe one of these guys was one of my trolls. Maybe Marty is Mr. Blonde. Maybe Will Marklin was Mr. Nismo or whoever else was calling me. So
Mr. Nismo.
Yeah, that was one of the.
Is it Mr. Nismo or is it Mr. Gizmo?
Both. Yeah, no, he was one of the main soundboard guys. He used to always harass me and Frank Garrett and all those guys
and this Alfonso guy's a 19-year-old little punk.
Well, yeah, listen, as soon as you talk to his parents, he's gonna start crying and screaming, and he'll be out of the picture. He'll be out of the picture faster than the Flash.
He's a 19-year-old punk, but I mean, I'm saying so you have his. Well, yeah, you gave me some numbers, but you didn't have his cell phone number yet.
I'm gonna get his phone number. I'll probably get his now. Jay Smith, though, I don't know if that one's the right number, but I'll keep digging and maybe.
Well, we already know his address. That's half the battle. We already know his address. That explains the connection between the two of those clowns and where they're located.
Yeah,
I appreciate. I mean, God works in mysterious ways. There's a reason why you and I met. I appreciate this.
No, absolutely. So why don't I'll do some more digging. I might be up late. I got nothing to do tonight. I mean, I'm probably going to be running around, maybe stop at my friend's house, and then maybe I'll be up late and just do some digging, and maybe some of the other ones on different time zones might be posting and see what they're doing.
Okay. So, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.